He does. But we're going to take kind of a radical shift right now from Joe Britannia to your favorite part of the hockey show.
The police blotter.
The police blotter, indeed. And my God, is this a hefty one? I mean, you have been around for a while. So here's our top story.
Okay.
Earlier this month, NBA All-Star Gilbert Arenas and his Washington Wizards teammate Javaris Crittenden drew guns in each other in the team's dressing room during a Christmas Eve dispute over a gambling debt. League sources say the pistol-packing point guards had heaters at the ready inside.
The pistol-packing point guard?
Yes, may I go on?
Very nice.
I speak, you listen. They had the guns inside the Verizon Center, home of the Wizards, whose name was changed, by the way, from the Bullets over gun violence concerns. I think as well as checking buses at the Verizon Center, they might want to start checking basketball players, because we know how good the security is there. Apparently it was Arenas who drew his gun first, according to sources, and Crittenden then drew his gun as well. And this duel, unprecedented in sports history, it was sparked when Crittenden became enraged at Arenas for refusing to make good on a gambling debt, a source said. That's just what the NBA needs, more gambling problems. I'm not your punk, Crittenden shouted at Arenas. And then Crittenden had a friend whose name is Kendrick Bookie Ball Long, and he confirmed the locker room standoff, and he heard it right from Crittenden. Bookie Ball claims that Crittenden said Arenas was effing with him, and Crittenden was just defending himself, according to Long. Now, who's going to get in front of a judge and say, my man, my character witness is Bookie Ball?
Bookie Ball.
Well, that's not going to go too far. The Wizards announced on Christmas Day that Arenas did admit to bringing the guns in the locker room, and this is going to be investigated by the Washington Police, the Metropolitan Police Department, and they've got some pretty strict gun laws down there. But apparently Arenas brought these guns into the arena so he wouldn't have them near his newborn kid at home. And he denied pulling the gun, and as it stands now, you can't transport firearms within D.C., very limited circumstances. And this is not the first time he's been in trouble. 7 years ago, he had a gun, concealed weapon in San Francisco. He had been playing for the University of Arizona, so it was registered in Arizona. He forgot he needed to have it registered in California. So Gilbert Arenas is in some trouble, and I don't recall Gilbert Perreault pulling guns on his French Connection teammates. Do you?
Or even Rod Gilbert.
Rod Gilbert, and I also, you don't hear about Alex Ovechkin pulling guns on Tom Poti in the Capitals dressing room, do you?
Or Alex Del Vecchio.
No.
You just don't hear any of that.
All right. Now, here's an interesting one that flew under the radar prior to the holidays. This is a beauty. Rhode Island State Police said they have arrested 14 people for prostitution-related crimes since a new law went into effect that banned indoor prostitution. So I guess there's outdoor prostitution, Winter Classic. And this includes a man who plays the New England Patriots mascot. Law enforcement officials told NBC 10 one of the Johns who tried to pay for sex was 47-year-old Robert Samonte of Warwick. Now, he's one of several people that plays Pat the Patriot. And according to a team statement, the Pat Patriot mascot is worn by multiple people, each of whom are held responsible and accountable for their actions. The individual in question has been suspended. All I have to say is this. You never hear about Blades, the Bruins mascot, getting caught up in prostitution strings, do you? Okay, more trouble for Jason Williams. Former NBA star has apologized to police for causing trouble about 90 minutes after swerving into oncoming traffic and crashing his SUV into a tree. He showed up at court wearing a neck brace and a bandage, and he was treated for a minor bone fracture in his face and cuts to his face. The bail was set at $10,000. He'll have to have one of those bracelets on. And this is just the latest in a series of legal and personal problems for Williams, who's awaiting retrial on manslaughter charges in New Jersey. You might remember he accidentally killed his driver when showing him a shotgun. But this time he veered his black Mercedes-Benz SUV across 4 lanes of oncoming traffic on the FDR in Manhattan, 3:15 in the morning Tuesday, and he was smelling strongly of alcohol. He told police that someone else was driving, but witnesses said there was no one else in that car. And he's got an extreme behavior problem while intoxicated. Now, you might remember, he retired from the Nets in 2000 at the age of 41. He was in the second year of a 6-year, $86 million contract. Wow. If I had a broken leg, I think I'd suck it up for the rest of that contract.
Yeah,
you know what?
Why wouldn't you?
I'd hop around if I had to.
You said he's got that bracelet on.
Yeah.
Some of these guys in the NBA think that's jewelry. It's blank.
Fair enough.
It's
I'll buy that. I'll buy that. You know, he's had other troubles in the last year. His wife filed for divorce. Police had to use a stun gun on him in a New York hotel after a female friend said he was acting suicidal. He was charged with assault in May after punching a man in the face outside a North Carolina bar. Those charges were dropped. So, you know, the woes go on for Jason Williams. And I don't remember former Bruin Jason Allison in all this trouble, do you?
Tommy Williams.
No, absolutely not.
Never.
Here's one from Knoxville, Tennessee. Knoxville police say that the 4 basketball players from Knoxville who were charged with drug and gun violations told them they were aware of the presence of guns in the vehicle they were in.
They're just training for the NBA.
Now, the players were Tyler Smith, Cameron Tatum, Brian Williams, not the NBC anchor,
Okay.
and Melvin Goins. And they were in a car they claimed they borrowed from a friend who had rented the vehicle.
Sure.
Police pulled them over after speeding and then smelled a strong odor of marijuana. None of the 4 claimed ownership of the guns. One of them had an altered serial number, so there's a red flag. They were all charged with misdemeanor charges, unlawful possession of firearms with an altered serial number, and drug possession. And you don't hear about beanpot hockey players riding around with guns in the car, do you?
You know, first of all, these guys are supposed to be college kids. It means you need some degree of intelligence to get where you are. My first question is, who took their SATs? And my second question would be, if you got a car full of pot and a car full of guns, why would you be speeding anywhere? You might as well just put a red flag on top of the car and say, come and get me.
Yep. New Orleans. Saints defensive end Bobby McCray issued a written apology this week concerning disparaging comments he made on a social networking website about the officer that arrested him after a traffic stop. In a statement released by his manager, McCray said he regretted the private messages about his arrest that were unintentionally posted on Twitter. He said, "I have respect for the men and women who serve the New Orleans Police Department." Now, the next day, his Twitter page had been taken down, but a series of comments still were floating around saying the arresting officer was a short guy with a Napoleonic complex who got angry when he asked McCray why he'd been ordered out of the car. And then McCray said that he was pulled over for DWP, driving with pizza. Now, that's always a good idea to annoy cops. How do you think the legendary police officer from Canton, Tommy Kelleher, would have responded to those answers?
Oh, yeah.
So they may have needed an ambulance. So, you know, this kid McCray, Bobby McCray, refused to take a breathalyzer test, and he missed the next day of practice with a sore back. Now, that's Bobby McCray. I don't remember Basil McCray.
No, never.
Causing these troubles when he was with the Nordiques.
Never. He caused troubles, but it was in the confines of the rink.
Another couple. Embattled from the world of football. Atlanta Falcons defensive tackle Jonathan Babineau was smoking marijuana as he and a friend were driving through the Atlanta suburbs last month, according to police. Now, Babineau told a police officer he had not smoked marijuana in more than a year, which is admirable, but admitted to smoking from a marijuana blunt at least once during the drive on a busy interstate highway. What's a blunt?
Well, a blunt is I don't know.
Babineau started the following Sunday, and the Falcons lost to the Saints because he has to, according to their CBA.
Yep.
Now, he and a friend, Aaron Robinson, were arrested in Babineau's 2005 Escalade after a routine traffic stop because the tag lights were out. Again, if you're going to do something illegal, why are you taking a chance getting caught?
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say you kids out there, beware, because you shouldn't do this anyway. So when he was pulled over by Officer R.L. Bell, the 28-year-old Babineau said, "Well, I play for the Falcons," which I'd say, who cares?
Yeah.
Babineau said that he had loaned the vehicle to some friends, and they must have smoked in it a few nights earlier. And a drug-sniffing dog came on to check the car and found a plastic baggie filled with marijuana and a few blunts in a backpack at the center of the seat. I'm sure the same friends left that there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So this kid Babineau's in a lot of trouble. And you know what? You never hear of Bruins photographer Steve Babineau causing these problems, do you?
He's too busy taking photos for the book.
Absolutely.
What was the book? Simpson.
Black and gold.
Yep, black and gold, yeah.
And finally, we end with this gem, Tiger Woods.
Oh.
While infidelity is not illegal, lying to the police is. Tiger is now a cheating, lascivious, lying, libertine, unfaithful, fallen idol.
Whoa, could you just repeat that?
I certainly can. Tiger is now a cheating, lascivious, lying, libertine, unfaithful, fallen idol.
Wow.
Obviously, the Swedish supermodel at home couldn't satisfy his salacious, selfish sexual needs, and the profligate pro had to turn elsewhere to seek his immoral pleasures. Leading the list of victims of his debauchery aren't his fans or slipping sponsor base or the PGA, but his aforementioned wife Elin and 2 small children, who have sadly become fodder for the tabloids. For your transgressions, there are no mulligans.